In the frozen depths of Russia at the turn of the 20th century, a name was whispered with fear and fascination, a name that carried with it stories of healing, corruption, and a death that defied reason. That name was Grigori Rasputin. He was born in 1869 in a small Siberian village, a peasant boy, uneducated, filthy, but strangely gifted. From a young age, villagers claimed he possessed strange premonitions, the ability to sense things no one else could. Some believed he was chosen by God. Others whispered he was touched by the devil. As he grew older, Rasputin left his home and wandered Russia as a mystic and self-proclaimed holy man. He dressed like a monk, with wild, unkempt hair, piercing eyes, and a presence that unsettled everyone who crossed his path. He preached repentance, but he also indulged in vices, drank women, and whispered rituals set the border on the occult. But Rasputin's life changed when he reached the royal court. He met Tsarina Alexandra, the wife of Tsar Nicholas II. Her son, Alexei, suffered from a deadly illness, hemophilia. Doctors had no cure, yet when Rasputin prayed over the boy, his bleeding slowed. Alexandra became convinced that his strange monk was sent by God himself. From that moment, Rasputin was no longer just a wandering mystic. He was at the very heart of the Russian Empire, a peasant elevated to unimaginable power. He whispered into the ears of the Tsarina, advised the royal family, and his influence spread like a shadow over the empire. But his rise came with darkness. Behind closed doors, Rasputin drank to excess, reveled with prostitutes, and was accused of exploiting the very people he pretended to save. His enemies grew in number, from noblemen to priests, who saw him as a heretic, a manipulator, and a danger to the crown itself. And then came the night when they decided to end him. On December 30th, 1916, a group of conspirators lured Rasputin to the palace of Prince Felix Yusuf. They offered him wine and cakes laced with poison enough to kill any man. Rasputin ate and drank, and yet hours passed, and he lived. His killers panicked. They drew a pistol and shot him in the chest. Rasputin collapsed, his blood staining the floor. The men sighed in relief, but when they returned minutes later, the monk's body was gone. Rasputin had risen, stumbling through the halls, his eyes burning with fury. He clawed his way toward the door, toward freedom. In desperation, they shot him again, this time in the back. He fell to the ground, twitching, struggling to breathe. Still, it was not enough. They bound him, dragged his body into the icy night, and cast him into the frozen waters of the Neva River. Only then, in that dark abyss, did the monk's heart finally stop beating. But the horror was not over. When his body was recovered, his arms were found free of their bindings, his hands clawing upward as if he had tried to escape even the grip of death itself. Witnesses swore his eyes, even in death, remained open, glaring with hatred, burning with something unholy. To his followers, Rasputin was a prophet and healer. To his enemies, he was the devil in human form. But one thing is certain: his death was unlike any other. No poison, no bullet, no blade could easily destroy him. Even today, the legend of the mad monk lives on. Some believe his spirit still lingers in the ruins of Imperial Russia. Others say his curse followed the royal family to their tragic end. But there are those who whisper that Rasputin achieved what he sought all along, an immortality that no grave can contain. Grigori Rasputin, the mad monk, a man who blurred the line between saint and monster, and perhaps even now, in the silence of night, his shadow still watches, waiting to rise again.